All right, welcome back. This is Selling Houston P.O.V. I'm Bernard. I have
Ebony Royal.
Aisha Shelton.
and we brought our special guest back again. Can you believe that? It's been 1 week.
1 week.
We've made them wait 1 week for this
Did have to
episode.
wait a week.
This is part 2. I hope you caught part 1. Please watch part 1 first before watching part 2 to understand the dynamic of this talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
But before we get right on in, what do you guys want to talk about?
The same thing, multiple streams of income.
Multiple streams of income. So Aisha sounds like Aisha just wants to dive right on in.
I think we should. It was so juicy.
It was
So
good. It was good. You can leave off something about
And generational wealth.
Generational wealth.
Yes.
Generational wealth. Yeah.
So can you dive a little bit more into those to insurance? You were saying something about a cash out, something of that nature. I'm also curious of your short-term rentals as well, but generational wealth. I know you can be successful with the Airbnbs, but I feel like you can get a bulk of money to drive that generational wealth with insurance. You feel the same? So let's deep dive into that, because we at Selling Houston POV, we want to always add value.
Absolutely. So when I think about insurance, it's just a transfer of risk, right? As far as like death benefit is concerned. But the living aspect of it is so beautiful, especially for all of us as real estate investors, right? So a lot of people don't even think about the fact that you can invest in your life insurance policy and pull some cash out to get that short-term rental or that Airbnb.
Wow.
Now, what that looks like, though, is let's say, you're making a $200 premium payment into your insurance policy. That full $200 is not going to like a savings or investment. You have to remember that there's a cost of insurance involved. So a lot of people may look up and they are, seeing that $200 deduction coming out once a month. And at the end of the year, they expect $2,400 plus interest. No, you got to pay for your insurance, because what if something happened to you during that year?
Right.
What if you passed away? What if you got ill? And so when it comes to life insurance, a lot of people don't realize that if you get sick, cancer, heart attack, stroke, you can actually pull out a percentage of your death benefit to not have to touch your retirement or your savings or your family for money.
What is the average time that you would say, you would have paid into
Let
that?
the money sit? It just depends, right? So you have to understand that insurance has a maturity or a surrender schedule. On average, it's 8 to 10 years. But that doesn't mean you can't invest money into your life insurance policy and pull it out like in year 2 or 3. But it also depends on how much. So if you're doing like a monthly $100, $200, $300 premium, right? Versus, let's say I got a lump sum of money a couple years ago. I put $10,000 in there, but it was after my first year. So a lot of insurance companies require you to let the money sit for a year.
Okay.
There are some that allow you to take money out after 30 days. But it just really depends on what type of investment you have, what your capital looks like, and what your goal is. It really just depends. But you have to consider age. You have to consider your medical history, your prescription, your driving record, your credit. Like when you get an insurance policy, all of that's a factor in your cost of insurance. So, my cost and Bernard's cost may be different. There's a gender difference. My cost versus somebody who has medical history, or an illness history is going to be different. So our same $200 monthly premium won't yield the same thing in 5 years.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Like, what is the average percent appreciation, like percentage of appreciation that you get?
Interest.
Interest.
So it kind of depends. So you can choose a policy that grows with a guaranteed fixed interest rate. You can choose a policy that's indexed based on the performance of a particular stock or mutual fund, or you can choose an index where all of your cash value is totally in a fund And if that fund makes 10%, you'll get 10. If it loses 10, you could lose 10.
Mm-hmm.
So it really just depends on your risk tolerance as well.
Yeah.
So it's
You
like the
have
stock
all
market.
three types.
It is
It's a
very
strategy.
Ve-
I feel like insurance, just like taxes and just like business, you have to have a strategy.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going in to do?
You got to have a
What-
goal.
What's your
is-
purpose?
What's
What's
your
the
purpose? What are you
purpose?
trying? So, and that'll determine what kind of policy you
Absolutely.
get, or what different policies you get, so that you can
Absolutely.
achieve those goals. And it reminds me a lot of when we're working with clients as agents, and somebody's like, "Well, what would you say about how do I buy a house, or what can I do to buy a house?" And I'm like, "Well,
It depends.
it depends."
What's your purpose?
Like, what are you
What's
trying
your
to
goal?
achieve?
Yep.
Which loan should I get? Which loan is better? Well, let's
What
talk
is your
about
purpose?
what are you trying to achieve? So it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
I feel like with insurance too, and that's why you want to work with a professional when you're buying a house.
Yep.
Even if it's new construction and you walk into the model home and you like it and you want to go under contract, you want to have somebody on your side.
Because everything that smells new is not good.
Yes.
Yes.
Same
Hello.
thing for insurance.
Same thing with a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I felt some energy on that, Bernard.
Yeah, some serious energy. But yeah, you're right. You know, it's like asking somebody, like, what's more important to you? Keeping more money in your pocket if you're purchasing a home, you know, bringing less to the table, or having a lower interest
Absolutely.
rate.
My
you
lender
know,
asked me
like-
that exact question.
When
I
are
was
you
like, I
gonna
don't
sell?
know. I think it's the cash for me. I don't
Yeah.
care about the interest rate.
how
And-
long are you going to keep the property?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
I mean, I have
I want my money.
The
I
case
don't want to
of
put
two
it out, throw it out,
clients.
dump it in.
Yeah.
the case of two clients sold the same property. Like, they both bought the same property, sold the same property. One put 20% down.
Absolutely.
Sold it in a year. One put 3% down. Sold it in a year. Who made the most money?
Absolutely.
Right.
Right. And so what's your goal? What's your exit strategy? What you plan?
The
what do you
deal we
plan
did
to do?
together, what did your client do at first? Was it 20%?
Yeah.
And then mine's did 3.5 right
Yeah.
behind it 1 year
Mhm.
later.
So
Yep.
big,
Ain't that crazy?
big difference.
Yeah. So and that is a difference, but there's a strategy to it too. And so I think it's important that you have a strategy. But this was the multiple streams of income episode.
Yes.
Second episode.
Yes.
So the one thing that I've noticed about you is, and this is a question that I want to see how you handle it.
Okay.
And this will be a challenge for you guys as well. I know it's a challenge for me. When you're a jack of all trades, who are you? Like, what do you put on your business card when you walk into a room? Who are you, and what do you do? And do you feel like you need to choose who that person
Absolutely.
is?
That's been a challenge. That has been a consistent challenge. I'm still working on a business card. Because I have an insurance card as an insurance broker because I represent all these different companies, and then I have a real estate card, as an agent, and then I have a real estate card as an investor and a general contractor and a hard money broker, and then I have a real estate agent and investor card. It's all over the place.
It's a mess, right?
It's a mess.
But here's
It's a mess.
So let me give you
It's a mess.
an idea. Okay.
I'm open.
So your card just needs to have your name and a QR code.
Pretty much.
And they scan the QR code.
What
and
you
it
need.
goes- and it goes right to
To a
your
link
beacon,
tree.
to a link tree or
Yes.
beacon, and here's your services.
Whatever it is
Yeah,
that you need, I
that's
could
it.
probably provide it. But this is the thing. So my vision before I got into entrepreneurship was to be a one-stop shop, full services, financial services person. So I wanted people to come to me who needed help with financial planning, insurance planning, and real estate. And so along the way, I've managed to get all of these licensed so that I can be that. But my goal is not to be the point of contact. It's to build a business and have agents, which I've had a prior insurance agency, but due to COVID, shut it down. So I'm actually working on rebuilding that, getting back in the field of recruiting, hiring, and training. So I don't necessarily need to say I'm an insurance agent or my agency. Here's the point of contact, instead of me being the person to market all that stuff.
Yeah.
Same. That's how we think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because that's how you build the wealth. Because if you're
Absolutely.
working in it, then you can go and create more for
It's
others.
only so much you can do.
Yeah.
Period.
I struggled with that too. When Kevin and I were first investing, we were doing Airbnb. We had We were doing classes for investors,
Yes.
like, teaching people what we knew about flipping, teaching
Yep.
people what we knew about Airbnb. Like, it was so much.
Yes.
And it's like, how do you describe yourself when you sit on a stage or when you're talking to people? What do you say you do without sounding confusing?
Right.
About like, okay, you do all that, like, you know what I'm
Not
saying?
confusing.
It is
No, it's
confusing,
true.
and
It is.
I struggle with that too as an agent and owning a real estate development company. Like, who am I? Am I an agent? And so the consistency in my social media, like what message am I trying to send? What do I want people to know me as? And I'm still debating.
Working on it. Still working on
I feel
it.
like you're all in the same
Yeah.
genre. So for me, your identity is really
It's
easy.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Okay, well, that's
me,
good to know.
it's
Yeah.
like
Development.
yeah, I feel like you're real estate. You're real estate. You're real estate.
You're real estate from the development on to selling it,
Selling,
because not
yeah.
everybody that develops can sell it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
it's a one-stop shop from acquiring to, what is it, offlifting?
Disposition.
Disposition.
acquisition.
Bye-bye.
Mhm.
And you're licensed to do so, and not everybody can do that. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's a one-stop
I
shop.
feel
It-
like
it runs
you're-
together.
Yeah, yours is easy to identify because you don't have all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Me, I have online boutique.
Do.
I have photography company. I'm a realtor.
Yes.
Yeah, like podcasts.
I know.
Well, and so one of the things
So-
that came to me before is like, I thought, well, maybe I'll just discuss whatever comes up in the conversation. Like, I feel like with everything that all the services that I offer, I would just, embrace the conversation, and I'm sure that a topic would come up with a service needed of something that I do.
Yeah. Okay.
And then from there, once I manage to obtain that client, then I'll upsell them on other items along the way. And so that was kind of my plan and my strategy for insurance to real estate. I have a book of business of over 1,000 clients in insurance, right? And so my plan when I got my real estate license was not to market in any kind of way outside of my insurance book of business. It was just exclusive to those clients, friends, and family. So I don't really do a ton of marketing. I don't do a ton of Instagram. Most of my Instagram is what my real estate passion, which is fixing flipping.
Okay.
That makes
okay.
sense.
So you speak to the audience that that you need to speak to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What about you, Bernard?
I feel like my identity, I have the podcast, right? I'm a realtor. We just launched our real estate photography company. I'm an investor. I don't talk about that as much because
it's a part.
it's a part of me. Yeah, I invest, or I have a property, but I don't feel like I think my passion is selling real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I have to agree. I was talking about this recently with family members, and I was just saying, like, I don't feel like I work. Like,
that's good.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
like,
That's
serious. It's so,
Passionate.
I'm so passionate about it.
Do what you love. You
and-
never have to work in your life again.
Yeah, but I think what made the difference, though, is our environment. It's the brokerage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
Like, it really is.
And your time off when you get it.
When is that?
Y'all took a little bitty weekend off. I mean,
Oh,
come
a
on
day?
That was,
now. It was a
So it's
day
4
of
hours?
serenity. Okay.
it was a day of serenity.
It was a day of
It was
serenity. It
amazing.
was. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It really was.
Okay, sorry.
That's how you like
I
to
may
vacation,
sponsor y'all
right?
That is.
Right.
Too.
Look,
I may sponsor y'all next trip. If y'all be
Include
nice to me.
me. Include me.
Okay, listen, y'all heard it here first.
Yeah.
Because they both came back happy. Like, well,
Necessary.
damn, go away again.
So necessary. I feel like people always think that travel or R&R has to be like this long thing or this very far thing. But
2 days.
I'm a quality over quantity kind of person. So don't take me. I was in Greece for 13 days. By day 5, I was
Yes.
Ready to go.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
But send me to La Cantera in San Antonio to see the hills of Texas.
Yes.
Beautiful
The hill
stuff.
country.
And I'm like,
And
This was great.
so from there, Coach Austin and his wife,
They went.
Really?
they're there now, I believe. They're still there, but they were like, oh, that looked amazing.
It's amazing.
So they went. Yeah, it's amazing. And I'll have to bring my husband back.
do. And you should take your view.
Yes.
I will.
Yeah.
It's
It's-
don't sleep on the spa. I've been there
Oh,
at least 6 or 7 times.
And
since I've been
as
to the
for Julian?
Julian.
Julian.
Okay.
spa. Julie.
Don't threaten me with a good time. And I love a good massage.
Yeah, I have to visit everybody's spa. I can't go anywhere without seeing the spa.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
It's a must.
No, incredible.
It's a must.
it is.
In
like-
any and everywhere I go.
Incredible.
Yeah.
The only bad thing is the women and men are separate, so we wouldn't get to like.
It's okay. I don't want to talk.
Never-
We can- no.
What you say? I'm talking enough
Yeah,
every
I
day.
don't wanna talk
Well,
during
no,
my
there
massage.
is that
You're talking
part
about the
where
pool.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
infinity
Well,
pool.
and that little waiting area where you go on the
Yes.
balcony
Yes,
and
yes.
overlook. Oh yeah. We can-
Can they do your massage outside?
No.
No, but you do have a view.
That, like when they
view.
do it in the shows and the movies.
Yeah.
Like, give me a massage outside.
I
There's
don't
a hill
know, they
country
might.
And let me drink some ghetto lemonade.
Oh,
Let's get it.
yeah. What
Oh,
is
my
that?
God.
They like me.
Is that
You know,
like?
some ghetto lemonade.
Is that like Henny
All
and
right,
lemonade?
I'm pulling y'all back in. Okay?
I'm like, what is that? Like Henny and lemonade? What is the Kool-Aid?
Aisha?
Yes.
Well, Ebony gonna pull us back in. Aisha, I had a question for you. I know you guys were working on a project, and I was just
Yes.
wondering if you could share, about your rental deal you have going up. How many units is it, and what does that look like?
Yes. Okay. So one of the things that we talk about in real estate as an investor, you'll be able to relate to this, is having multiple exit strategies, right? So
Absolutely.
you get into a flip and you plan to keep it as a rental. I don't know how many times this happened to you, but it's happened to me several. You're like, I'm gonna keep this in my portfolio, and then by the end of that project, you done spend way too much money. You got to get
Gotta get out of it.
Gotta go. You
Gotta
gotta
get
go.
out of it.
And so that being said, you want to make sure that your numbers are in the right place, that you can do one or the other. Like you can pivot should you need to, right? And so we have a community. We own some land out in Spring Branch that we plan to build a 23-unit single family community. What we're finding is that hedge funds across the country are buying these rental communities. I mean, look at the rental market right now. It's an amazing place to be for a landlord. So if you're sitting on several properties and you're collecting rent, I literally just rent up $200.
Yeah.
Amen. She was able to pay it. It wasn't bad.
But that makes a difference, though.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And
Over time.
And so, like with these hedge funds, they are able to take these big risks, and $200 to me is $200 on, a single property, but $200 per property if you got, 1,500 properties or 10,000 single families, it's a lot of money.
Absolutely.
To the bottom line or whatever. And so the strategy, the thought behind it initially was we're going to do a rental community like Camillo, if you've ever seen Camillos before.
Yes.
Okay. So like a Camillo, and then we keep it as an asset and then potentially sell it maybe 5 years later when it's performing. Or we build it, bundle it, sell it, or
Build it, lease it, then sell it, right?
build it, lease it, but sell the package. And it just depends. So whatever the market does when these houses are ready, when this development is done, then or when we're in permitting and building, that's when we'll decide what we'll do. So there's a potential that, myself and my team can sell 23 single family home development completely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is
yes.
awesome.
Like you said, it depends on the market.
It
Because
does.
what if we're sitting on, 6+ months of inventory at that point,
Right.
and it's a buyer's market, and
But as an investor too, you're really helping. Like for me to be
Oh.
able to come in and buy a brand new property with a tenant already in it,
Oh yeah.
that's a blessing. And
It
you got
is.
23 to do so.
it is.
You know,
Good. And I mean, if it sells, and to be very clear, if we decide to sell it, I'm gonna sell it new construction.
you won't have.
I'm not gonna have
a
the
tenant,
right.
right.
And if I decide to sell it
Okay.
leased up, it's gonna be packaged.
Packaged. Okay.
Right.
I'm gonna do a
Makes sense.
performa and shop it around into different investors and hedge funds and say like, hey, here's this performing asset. Come buy
And
it
it'll be
for
worth a lot
a
more.
couple of $1 million.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. I
well,
love it. I love it.
I mean,
Love
and
it.
everybody can do it.
that one.
Yeah.
And everybody, and I feel like it starts on a small scale and then it just grows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so for us, it started as a onesie too. We were just investors. We got into real estate because we wanted to build wealth for ourselves. Now it turned into all of that it's turned into. But honestly, it started with one flip.
Yep.
and then 2 flips, and then 3 flips, and then
Throw in the rental property.
rental property, and another rental property.
Then try short-term rental.
Oh my God!
So let's talk about
Yes.
that. Yes, I'm like dying to get to that before our time runs out.
Ebony has been wanting to do short-term rentals. That's why she wants to know.
I
Let's
Run.
talk about it. But one
Run,
thing
sis.
I want to say that you pointed out that's key is having multiple exit strategies and being able to pivot either way. So you mentioned that you were able to, rent it out or flip it. And I had a deal that I purchased, and the plan was to flip it. That didn't work out. This was 3 years ago.
That appraisal came in and was like, sis.
Yeah, I bought it too high.
Yeah.
That was my bad, and it happens. But I was able to rent it out.
Yep.
And the rent paid for everything, and then I was able to make almost a $20,000 profit a year later.
Yep.
So having either option available is key when it comes to investing. So I'm glad that you mentioned.
And you
that.
never lost on that.
Nope,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not at all, not a penny.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
let me just be clear. I lost on some things.
And it happens.
And that's part of the
You
game.
learn, though.
Now, I don't want to lose, so I need you to continue to tell me what you lost on, so that I can make sure that I turn that street real good.
That,
Okay.
I'm down with that. I'm down with that. So short-term investing, you love it, or do you love it, or do you not love it?
I love it. I love it. At this point in my real estate investing,
What do you love about it?
Okay. I love hospitality. I love people. I love making people happy. Right. So the part that I love most about it is like when guests come and they're doing like a birthday or a surprise something, and I get to surprise them. And a lot of times I kind of look at my cameras to just make sure that my guests were able to get in, that they didn't have any issues.
Well,
that they didn't have any issues
Only
with
3
the door
people was
lock.
on this reservation.
Right,
What are you
right.
speaking
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
hello. But making sure that they're honest about who's coming in, how many people are staying. Now, that takes a lot of time to observe all of that, but I at least try to make sure that there's no door lock failures. And so sometimes when I catch them right when they're coming in, I'm observing how many people are coming in, but let's just say somebody told me, because I'll ask them, what brings you to Houston, right? That's the first question when you book. What brings you to Houston? Oh, I'm celebrating my 30th birthday. Well, I already have a happy birthday banner, a birthday cake banner. I may do some balloons. I may do a bottle or something. It just depends, especially if it's an anniversary, right? So I love to hear them say, oh my God, it looks so pretty. And then here comes the text, right? So I love that. But what I love most is how you can double or triple your income from traditional rental.
That's a fact.
Okay.
Right.
And so I put it into practice. I just bought a duplex back in November, right? And the rental income, it was 2 tenants in there. One was on month to month. So month to month.
Sorry.
To go,
Yeah,
right.
Bye-bye.
But she was paying $14.75 a month, and I put it on short-term rental. Next month, I'm making $3,000 a month. So instantly, I was able to double the profit from that property, right?
Does location matter? Sorry.
Location does matter, but also the type of guest that you are hosting matters. So who do you want to cater to is something that you need to know when you're getting into short-term rental. Do you want to cater to travel nurses? If so, you need to be in the medical center or in other areas around the city that have hospitals. Are you catering to ball players, people who are coming and need to be by the stadiums? Are you catering to travel professionals that are maybe, needing to stay somewhere downtown, midtown? Or if you don't have a plan, then you're catering to whoever, because then you may just get those weekenders, right? And if you don't have a plan in place and your unit is only being booked on the weekend, then you're not maximizing your cash flow potential at all. So you have to know, you have to be able to identify if you having professional travelers, do you have a work desk? If you have nurses, do you have a dresser drawer and blackout curtains? If you're catering to travel families, do you have playpens, high chairs? Who are you catering to is very, very important.
Here's what I didn't like about short-term rental. Did we make money? Yes. And our business was so well systematized that I didn't go to the property. I didn't know what they look like.
Hello, cleaners. We love our cleaners.
Okay. But what I didn't like, because I was a owner, I was an owner of the units that I had. What I didn't like was people think that Airbnb is a passive income. and it ain't nothing passive about it. Even the fact that I never had to go see it, I ain't clean nothing.
You got to be
There
involved.
were still pieces that you have to do. So
Yep.
when there's trouble, and even though I had somebody that worked for me that would go solve problems for me, it's still ultimately my problem.
Yeah.
It's my
Right.
Airbnb, it's my reviews, I have to make sure that all of that stuff was on point. And I was like, okay, I could get a commission check once. If I just got one commission check, I just blew this out of the water. So all this work that I'm doing Airbnb, this is not knocking Airbnb. It's a great source of
you got a valid
revenue.
point.
Yeah.
But if I could do just one transaction a month in real estate, that's much easier for me than having to deal with all of you folks calling me about this and that. And it was a bug in here. Like,
Oh,
girl, we in
God.
Houston, girl.
A bug?
It was
I'm
a
across the street
bug.
from a lounge, right?
Yeah.
So at first, before the lounge shut down, I got complaints about the noise from the lounge or being on the main street or somebody left
It's always something
something
like,
in the toilet and the toilet was stuck.
always,
no.
you
It's
always
a-
have to solve problems or whatever.
Yes.
So when I think about what it like when it was time to sell, I was like, okay, well, these gotta go because I don't like this. And I just got rid of it.
Yeah.
'Cause
So it was ghetto to you.
it was so not my speed. I don't want to do that much work.
It's a fabulous experience, I will say. And it's great for people who are looking for an alternative to rental income, right? And a way to maximize to a certain extent. But like she said, it's work.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's
work.
okay. That's not a bad thing. I think you have to just determine, like, is it a good fit for you? Like,
Absolutely.
is it
I would
something that
probably
you wanna
want
do?
something like in a high rise in Galveston, like in a condo building or something where I could have somebody like something like that.
Any
But I
short-term
can't-
rental that you have, it's like people treat it like it's a hotel, and it's not. And it's becoming worse, in my opinion. The expectations are just constantly
Oh, well,
increasing.
yeah. Okay. Well, so
Because,
much for that.
like-
I'm
like-
no more Airbnb
you.
Not like
Thank you, Brittany.
desire for me.
Us
Thank you,
Okay.
Brittany.
ladies,
Not at all.
We like a 5-star experience,
True.
but sometimes there's things that happen in these homes that we don't have any control over, or let's just say that our cleaner misses it, or it's work,
Yeah.
but it's fun.
Yeah.
But eventually, I think that you'll find more creative ways to invest in real estate.
Yes.
You can find alternatives that will yield you more money in less time.
With
In
less
some
work?
cases. Hello.
Yeah.
Well, toast to that.
Okay, where my drink at? Give me your drink. Toast to that.
Toast to that.
All right, good.
Thank you.
No, this was good.
This has been very exciting.
Yes.
And it
Thank you so much for coming on.
we
and
have
sharing.
to have Brittany back out again.
Anytime. This is awesome.
Wait, you been here already?
Yes, and I'm ready to
I'm
come
talking
back
about a
again
third or a
already.
fourth time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Third,
Anytime.
fourth. Yes.
Anytime.
Well, we have to get with your manager because the last time your schedule was really busy. So
And that's totally fine. We will make sure that I make it here, okay?
well, Brittany, how can the people find you? What's that? What is your Instagram handle? Anything you have coming up that they like, maybe courses or classes? Because you have a lot to talk about and teach.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely. So I can be contacted on Instagram at Miss B Golden. MISSB Golden. On this Saturday, actually, I'm doing a Rehabbing with B Golden masterclass and live tour. So one of the things that I actually love about the masterclass is that I bring my students on to an active project. So we get to walk the project to kind of see the initial phase, and then I also bring them back another 2 times to see midway and then the end.
Nice.
So
This show's gonna air after
Yeah,
that.
y'all gonna miss
but
that.
if you are interested, please DM her, and she will have more future projects coming up.
absolutely.
And she can put you on her list, and I'm sure she will be happy to take you in and teach you about flipping with B Golden.
Absolutely.
This was fun.
This was very fun.
I hate I missed you the last time.
That's okay.
This is Selling Houston POV. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Please share with your friends and family because we have so much stuff to talk about.
Do.
On YouTube, right? There's a nice bell at the top. Please hit that bell. And what happens is, as soon as our new show is loaded, you are reminded to watch it. So
Don't miss
that's Selling Houston POV. You guys have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.